Welcome, and let's take a look at the new all-age comic books for the week of March 29, 2023. First off, a little bit of housekeeping. Every Wednesday is new comic book day for most of the new releases. DC puts out their new comic books on Tuesday, just the day before. At my local comic book store explained it to me once why that happens, and my eyes kind of glassed over, and I was like, whatever. But anyway, I just call it Wednesday. New Comic Book Wednesday. That's what it is. And coming up real soon is Free Comic Book Day. Yeehaw. We're going to talk more about that in a future podcast as to what to look for and what not to look for, because some of those comic books are going to be great for those mature audiences. Some high school, some middle, some elementary. Right now, let's jump into where you can find things like this. Where's your local comic book store? You know, I get it. You're busy, you don't know what you're doing, you just moved to an area, you want to find your place's store and look at the comics before you buy them. That's totally logical. Check out this website, comicshoplocator.com. All you got to do is punch in your zip code there, and you'll find one within probably 15 miles of you. It's a pretty cool website, and it's also very thorough. I've been to some comic book stores that were closed, and this store said it was closed indeed, which was a bummer because one of them was in our area. Bummer. But if you also go down here, they have the new releases. They haven't updated the website for this week, but they're normally pretty on top of it. That's comicshoplocator.com. However, they're on point for finding your local comic book store. Now, what's new this week? This series I can't brag about enough. It's from Boom Studios, and Boom Studios is one of those comic houses that they put quality into every book they make. Some of the books aren't meant for elementary or middle school kids. They're just not. They're meant for high school or mature audiences, like the Berserker series that Keanu Reeves helped co-write. Great series. We've got that here. But it's not meant for middle school kids in general. Granted, some middle school kids will dig into some of it, but, I'm getting sidetracked. Back to the mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a mini-series, the second mini-series, thus the two. This is issue 4 of 5. And you say to yourself, well, it's issue number 4. I've already missed 3, so I'll get it later. You and I both know you never will. Here's what you do. You just go to your local comic book store and you say, hey, give me issue number 4, and I bet you they have issues 3, 2, and 1 also. Here's the worst case scenario. In about June, all 5 are going to come out in a graphic novel. You can get that. Why this is so great is because it's fun, it's action-filled, and it's got a great story. It's one of those series that's really going to hammer the middle school audience. It might be a little too much reading for elementary school kids, but if you're looking for just a great comic book that has story, has action, and it's got that kind of kitsch crossover appeal between the Turtles and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, check this out because the next one's the last one, and it's a hoot. We know nothing about this. Nothing about it. But it's got that all-age look that says, you know what? This is going to be great for those kids, those independent, artsy kids who want a comic book, but they don't want a superhero in tights. They want something that's kind of weird and unique, because you can kind of check out the description here. Here comes Cat Dad and Supermom. A young boy's real-life superheroes are his wonderfully ordinary parents. They help Jax navigate life's challenges and the everyday lessons of growing up. In his dreams, they transform into costume superheroes who help him teach right from wrong. In what makes a hero, Jack a disheartening encounter with a celebrity hero at a comic book convention. That must be fiction. Later, he embarks on an action-packed imaginary adventure and discovers the true heroes who never let you down. I bet it's his mom and dad, or his family. See, it's more family-oriented, but it's going to be great for those parents, especially, who want their kids to read, but they want them to read something a little more wholesome. Spoiler alert, though, this is going to be hard to find. Because it's on a smaller independent press from Scoot Imprint, your local comic book store might have 2 to 4 copies of it, and they could sell out quickly, so double time it. Even call your local comic book store and reserve it now, if this sounds like your all-age jam. Now, Venom, you may think, is not an all-age comic book, and to an extent it's not. Some 4th graders are going to be a little spooked out by Venom, but here's the thing. When our eldest was in 5th grade, he loved reading Venom. Loved it. He's in middle school now, Still loves reading Venom, and this miniseries especially. Lethal Protector 1 came out last year, and it was Venom, but it was kind of like an 80s or a 90s style Venom, where he was more of a good guy who wasn't purely evil. That's going to be the gist of this second miniseries. The first one of the miniseries comes out this week, and it's going to be kind of I'll call it retro Venom, but by no means is it rounded baby Venom. It's not Baby Muppets or Baby Venom. This is Venom Lethal Protector 2 miniseries. Issue 1 of 5 comes out this week. It's going to be great for grades 5 and up. Call ahead because this one could sell out. This is not a comic book, but we love it. The Muppets Electric Mayhem Band Animal. Who doesn't love the Muppets, especially the classic Muppets? This is one of those retro reaction figures. We've got a couple of these from the Back to the Future. Evil Dead has some too that we've got. And they're funny, they're goofy. It's just fun stuff that you don't need, but it's fun to have in your office as a sense of whimsy, playfulness that lets people know, hey, look at this. I'm fun. I'm not all buttoned up, suit and tied. Let's see. This is Animal. And the rest of Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem are also out this week. So if you want to get the entire band, that will run you about $100. Wow. So you may want to pick your favorite member of the Electric Mayhem band and get that. Mine is Animal. From Marvel Comics this week, it's Jeff. Now look at this title. Look at this title. Look at this cover. And the cover alone says this is going to be a jam and all-age book, even without reading the description. Because here's what you see. You see Hulk. You see Spidey. See Doctor Strange, yeah. You see, Miss Marvel, her, whose name I forget. You see kind of a age-appropriate Deadpool. And a shark. And, of course, Squirrel Girl. How do they fit together? Here's how they fit together. This is Jeff the Land Shark. It's his own fantastic comics. I'm going to call it a mini-series because I'll be honest with you, as cute as I think this looks, I don't think it's going to sell enough to merit a full run. So maybe it'll be a good little healthy mini-series. If it's a straight-up comic book, unless it really surprises me, it'll get canceled. Since his first appearance, Jeff, the Land Shark, has flooded our hearts like an adorable tidal wave. Now the ingenious, the extraordinary, the unbearably innocent Jeff embarks on his own adventures across the Marvel Universe. You thought it was safe doing laundry or going for a leisurely swim? La 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 la. It's a one-shot. There we are. See? It's so silly you knew it wouldn't be. I have to read the punchline. Hey, what are you reading this week? What are you reading? If it's something fun, hit us up on Twitter, @DaddyMojo. Leave something in the comics, or if we miss something, because we look at the new releases and we say, okay, as a whole, these are the comics that are going to be good for those middle school kids and up. Some elementary school kids. Like sometimes, next week, yes, there are a couple great releases for the elementary school audience. I know Disney's got a new imprint coming out that's going to highlight their villains. For the middle school kids who are looking for something cool, Planet of the Apes. And for those upper middle school kids and high school kids, there's a really interesting series from Image Comics called Junk Rabbit coming out next week that we're pretty excited about. So what are you reading this week? Let us know and be safe.